As my friend mentioned, my name is Dr. Karandeep Singh, and I'm going to present the next session here. Welcome all of you. Thanks for joining this early morning in social media and web analytics event. And topic of my talk would be less technical, and I will talk about web analytics, not just web analytics. I will discuss a few things which can make web analytics as effective web analytics. Before I jump into the talk, let me tell you something about me. And so I am UK Web Analytics lead at HomeServe, which is an international business. They do home emergencies insurance. As you can see, I'm originally from India. I've spent 8 years of my life in digital marketing. I've recently completed my PhD in statistics. I did some modeling in web analytics, and I'm basically passionate about web analytics, conversion optimization, and I like digging deep into data and come up with some actionable insight. So that's about me, and let's go into the talk now. I'll cover 3 key areas about web analytics and then briefly touch the upcoming challenges in this world. I'll discuss about measuring analytics. To measure, we need to have right tools, and data needs some context. So I'll briefly touch this area. I'll talk about analyzing. Now, data or numbers are only good if we can convert them into some action. If not, I believe they're rubbish. And I briefly touch optimization. So once you measure and then analyze, the next step is optimization. But I always stress for the word innovation. So if we cannot optimize in many ways, but if we can give a brief touch of innovation and optimization, that increases chances of win. Starting with measuring, as I mentioned, to measure data, we need some context. Without context, data always misleads, and we never get best results. We can get good results, but not the best ones. Now, I believe that yes, the tools can give us numbers, but personally, I am a person who won't look at the numbers. I'm after the information behind those numbers. So instead of looking at top exit pages, I would strive to look at top conversion obstacles. If I can measure those obstacles, I will ultimately decrease those number of exit pages. If I look for the most interacted page elements, I'll ultimately increase the involvement of the user over the web page. Now, I mean, numbers, yes, again, say many things, but if we can't find the information behind those numbers, we are not doing right analytics. And if we apply something like this, if we go for the information behind those numbers, it will definitely make impact. For example, we did something similar for these guys. I mean, I worked with them previously, and removed few actions from the home page, streamlined product pages, improved prominence of page elements, and the result was a reduction in bounce rate and increment in conversion rate. Now, this is a straightforward results when we look for the hidden information behind the data. Moving on, if we are measuring web analytics data, I think one of the most important things to measure is segmentation. And segmentation can be anything, maybe starting from behavioral, geographic, or demographic, or anything. Now, what are they? From where are they coming? Or are we catering for the special needs? I mean, if we are not measuring the segmentation we leave. If we are measuring data, but we are not measuring from segmentation point of view, we are not understanding the whole picture behind the scene. And measuring by segmentation, we are actually covering all different aspects of the data itself. Moving on, I think we have many tools in the market and many resources from where we can measure the data itself. But sometimes, I'm personally looking at around 1 million visits in a 2-day or 3 days time. So personally, I feel very difficult to integrate all my data coming from different resources. We have data coming from social media, data coming from traffic, conversion, everything. But if I want to have all these data in one window, in one platform, I think that's the biggest challenge I had in my previous roles. But now, if you can have something like this, I'm not marketing any tool here. So this is a tool which allows to integrate data from 30 different sources into one place, and including big names like Google Analytics, Site Catalyst, and Facebook Insights. Now, again, I'm not saying that these tools are not good standalone, but what I'm saying is if I want to have specific information from all these tools, I have something now which is cloud-based, and I can use this tool to look at all the information or the specific information from all the different tools. I think take out from this section of the talk is data should be integrated, measured, and presented with underlying context. All of us here are from web analytics world, I believe, or social media world. Every morning when I reach office, what all I see is many different files and data coming into my email. And if I know how can I measure all that data, or how that data have been measured by other teams, I can easily use that data to inform SMT how to go ahead. Second section is analyzing, and I'll just touch 2 areas in analyzing. First is analyzing visitor behavior, and second is visitor feedback. Now, I think some of us believe this is very common thing to analyze. But what I have noticed and I have experienced in my previous roles that although we have all this information with us, most of the time we never go deep. As I mentioned in the introduction, that I'm the one who dig deep into the data and come up with actionable insight. Looking at the visitor behavior, what all visitor behavior include? Anything. Where do they go? How are they behaving with call to actions? What are the key elements they interacted? Knowing these numbers and knowing those elements is one thing, and using this information to optimize further is another thing. And then increasing conversion, reducing bounce rate, it further step down the line when we did optimization. We can get this information from thousands of different tools out in the market, but I'll just take few examples. What I learned in my past when I started looking at these tools to analyze visitor behavior, say click maps. All of us know, I believe every single one sitting in this room have looked at these click maps one or the other time in their work. What I looked at these click maps back when I joined web analytics field, I think 6 years ago. I was online marketing executive in US, and then I joined a firm in UK as an analytics. We know this tool is in the market since I think 10, 12 years now. How much we have gone deep into this tool. When I looked into this click maps, I'm telling you from my experience, I've take out the sample of 100 visitors, and all those 100 visitors click map were different. Usually we look at an average click map, sent us by those tools, or they average all those clicks around these areas. But until and unless we look at every individual or at least segmented click maps, we won't be able to understand the real picture behind these very informative piece of analytics. We have seen heat maps and we know what they tell us. But when I looked at the heat maps of a customer buying a policy, insurance policy, at 1 a.m. in the night, and compared the heat map from the customer who bought the policy at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, they were totally different. That's how, I mean, these tools are there, but how much we are utilizing the information hidden in them. The customer who bought the policy took 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 58 seconds to buy the policy online. Customer buying in the afternoon around the same time took around 4.5 minutes. Why? If we want to know, and if we can have this information, we can actually use this information to maybe to show some optimized PPC landing pages, or maybe to show something else to those customers who are not spending much time on the website, and even then converting, or to them who are spending time and even then converting. I mean, information is there, how much we are using it them. Something like form analytics, I know most of us have seen these tools, most of us have been using these tools, but how much we actually gone and filled up the form every morning. I mean, there can be any technical issues with these forms or anything similar out on the websites. And if you want to know where they are dropping out, what are the specific fields which a user is struggling to fill in, and how we can improve? Do we want to remove them? Do we want to add anything into it? I think until and unless me myself become a user, become a customer, and do this something like this, I think twice every week, I won't be able to optimize this piece of my web page. Something which is excitingly coming up and have been into debate, like eye and mouse tracking tools. Can we read user's mind using his eye movements? And can we match those click movements with the eye movements? And can we place those elements before, at that place where his eyes go on first and not where the mouse go on first? I mean, these are there. As an analyst, how much I have used it. And after using this specific tool, I don't go into details about what we did and how we did and what are the results, but after doing this eye movement tracking thing for the home serve, we actually come up with the whole setup of home page, whole new setup. If you, I can't show you the examples because something our compliance team never allowed me to bring here because we are FSA regulated business. But yes, looking at these tools, as I mentioned, we can come up something actionable. And this is not technical. You just need to have that knowledge, what I want to take up from these tools. Second part, analyzing feedback. My friend Pramod mentioned a few things related to this feedback and how consumers are engaging themselves in their conversations, good, bad. And I think this is one of the most important piece of information we need to have going forward from our analytics tools, whether it is social involvement, as my friend mentioned, or whether they are direct feedback or testimonials. People do just look for the bad ones, but I am the one who look for the positive ones also. This happened, we have a conversation going on Facebook regarding one of the issues we had in our company back in 2011. I think most of you know. But how we can change the mindset of a negative person by telling him positive views of other people. We had a negative conversation going on, and we started sending our positive customers positive feedback to enter that negative conversation. And within 3 days' time, thoughts Let me give an example. If I'm from India, let's say East, this is West. All of us say, or all of the East people say West is very good and East is very bad. But when someone from West started saying East is not bad, you should try going there, you should try doing business there, then people in the West started thinking at least that East is not bad. They're not saying East is good. There's a difference. They're not saying East is good, but they're not saying that East is bad also. So you have somehow planted something in the minds of the visitor by telling them the positive feedback. Every single positive feedback counts here. No matter we're getting thousands of tweets and multi-thousands of Facebook messages. If we can use them to harness those negative ones, we can easily make an impact. Take out, as I mentioned, visitor behavior and feedback, good or bad, and I'll do in quotes, bad, cannot be ignored. What can we do? I personally have gone back to the single individual customer level, engaging them what is the thing they never liked about the plumber who is going out into their home and doing some repairman stuff for them, who had bought the policy from us. And when I got to know the plumber's conversation was not very healthy, then we gone back to plumber. We changed all the system. If I have not been there for every single visitor, I won't be able to come up with a plan or strategy to make a change, to make an impact. And I think that's the role of analyst. Third section of the talk is optimize, and optimize, not just optimization coupled with innovation. And I would like to quote this, which have been quoted by Thomas Lee in 2012. I attended a conference where he mentioned this quote, that it is not about ROI, it's about COI. Anyone? COI? Anyone? We know ROI. COI is cost of ignorance. We don't want to face that cost, and we don't want to bear that cost. Because if we ignore optimization, and if we ignore the innovation part behind that optimization. I would like to start with dynamic landing pages. Again, I know most of us have been aware that this is something not innovative, this is something not new, this is not something going to be launched in near future. This have been into the market since 6-7 years now. But I personally discussed this issue with top 10 names, including Argus, Sony, and people like them were not aware of something like this. For those of you who don't know what are dynamic landing pages, so these are dynamically created landing pages based on various factors. Example here is server is showing dynamic landing pages on the basis of the location. If someone is searching, say from Leicester, the person would be served a dynamically created on-the-spot page served by the server, having Leicester mentioned all around the page. How much we are using these things. And particularly I am a big fan of this, because this particular thing I think have revolutionized our PPC campaigns all across the home serve. When you are spending around 2 million just on PPC as your annual budget, you need to think of what and where I'm going with the PPC campaigns. Dynamically landing pages created on the basis of search behavior. If someone is searching for good credit history, the content and the images on the page change itself dynamically. We are not saying that we have to create thousands of landing pages and should be kept on the server. But this will be happening via some kind of strategic plans behind the system, and those keywords, those images will come up in the pages. Lastly, dynamically landing pages as per the customer behavior, purchase history, If old people are looking for music, what should they be served? If someone like me, a young person who is 30 only, is looking for something in a music store, what should be served to me? Based on my previous purchase history or based on my demographics? If I'm from, say in Punjab, what shall I would be served here? And I'm from South Africa, what should I be served on these pages? I mean, tools are there. We know them, they exist. How much have been used and how much we have used them? Second thing, attribution modeling. Again, I would like to mention before starting and before going in detail into the topic, we know that this is something into the market since 10 years. I remember, I think IBM was one of those people who looked it into detail and come up something. Let me tell you this story. On the day one, visitor was shown an advert on the Facebook, got an interest, first point of interaction. Day two, he looked for the same product on the Google. He's not bought yet product yet. Day four, again served the same or similar ad or similar display advert on one of the affiliate networks. Day 8, he actually searched the keyword in the Yahoo and converted finally. As an analyst or as a marketer, which is that marketing channel will I pay more attention? Because my analytics tool is telling me this is the place where customers are coming. If I know the story behind, I can easily attribute all of my marketing money behind these channels. We can play with different kinds of attribution modeling. Google just recently included this plugin into their Google Analytics tool. I mean, these are there. Question again, have we used this? Until I find out for the home serve that we are spending most of the money into PPC, but we are actually getting almost 80% of traffic from just search across different search engines. It shifted all the flow of the money going into PPC. And I'm just telling you, we have doubled the amount of figures we were spending on our search engine optimization in this April financial year. If I wouldn't have this information, we won't be able to do that. And we have seen the change, the increment in the traffic. An example which I class as out of box. Now we know Nissan, car manufacturer. Of course, you cannot buy a car online. You need to have a test drive and looking for the technical things by looking at the car itself. They were struggling to market their car, which is a new version of Altima. What they tried differently, they coupled with the Skype. We know that Skype is now owned by Microsoft Advertising. For the first time, Skype shown their ads on the conversation page of the Skype. Now we need to remember, when a person like me and you are on the Skype, we are not in a mood to buy any product. We are not in a mood to search for a product. We're just relaxing, talking to friends, family far off, or sometimes doing some professional conversations. But if, as I mentioned, out of the box approach, and remember the innovation word behind the whole scene, when they tried this model and shown one type of ad on the conversation page, another type of ad on the home page, these were the results. They come up. 46% of people actually clicked onto the advertisement, which were in no mood of buying or looking for that product, or which were in no mood of having passed any that kind of information which have been thrown to them. And after this experiment, Microsoft actually launched a product, Skype advertisement. So I mean, if we can think of something innovative behind our optimization, we can easily go towards the winning line. Last part of this section, I would like to say is about retain, and not just retain innovatively. What if I got the information that a customer who visited on the website on Christmas Eve, looked for a specific product, came again on the website and actually bought the product on Boxing Day? Can't I go back to that customer further down the line, near about Easter or sometime, with the similar products? I'm not talking about regular email marketing. I'm talking about a proper segment who have actually looked for those specific products which are on the website. If you can have something called smart retainer, so for example, if you can have something like this, people who are female, who looked for a specific type of shoes, specific type of makeup kits, they have a size of 7 or something else. Can't we go back to them 6 months down the line and show them when we have a new product launch on the website or something like that? If we can have this information, and there are tools in the market which can give us this information, and I don't want to quote here, but one of the biggest name out there have used this, and the way they have increased their retention rate by 89%. And that is one of those names, I name it, the Amazon. They have used this tool which is called Mixed Panel. I think I've mentioned somewhere it shows as Mixed Panel. So they have come up with this innovative tool where you can actually retain customers in this way. Now, I mean, tools are there, people are there. How much they are going hand in hand, how much these people are using these tools, and how much these tools are providing what the analysts are looking into it. Take out from this section, and I would like to mention innovative as a first word. Innovative optimization always gives you more chances of win. I'm not saying if you don't include innovation in optimization, you won't be a winner. But it increases the chances of winner, as in the case of Nissan. Finally, I'll briefly touch what is the future of web analytics would be looking, and what are the challenges coming up for analysts like us to measure web analytics. Now we know that we have users coming from all different sorts of sources, radio, television, offline, anything. The biggest challenge is to measure accurately so that we can throw that pot of money into that channel. And I know many tools are struggling to come up with something new and new every day and now. But till now, I can't name any one of them who is actually providing one source, one stop place where I can find tracking for every single different channel. And this is the biggest, I think this is one of the biggest challenges in the world of digital analytics. Secondly, we know that with the increase in traffic coming from all different platforms, say game consoles, smart TVs, e-readers, how much we are going deep into them, traffic coming from different operating systems, how much we are looking into them. Now, I will give an example here. I was looking for something in my previous job. Was looking for the dropout from conversion funnel. And we had one of our flash elements in the conversion funnel. And I noticed that all of the operating systems allowing the customers going from there. But when I look at the iPhones, I stuck that iPhones are not allowing people, and people coming from iPhone are not completing the conversion for some reason. When I dig deep into it, I think this is 2 years ago, I got to know that at that time, they were not compatible with Flash. And that's how, and if I got that information, going deep into it, looking at all different versions of iPhone, I think at that time they just have iPhone 3S when I did this experiment on that. If I can have the information, I can easily change, or actually plan something to change. I think this is one of the biggest challenge, and Google Analytics itself have come up with universal analytics. I'm not quite sure this is a recent stage. I can't say that is a winner or which is loser, but it's still under something they have just launched or They have just come up with a beta version. They have launched Universal to all other users now, I think last week. So yeah, these are few things. Last slide of the presentation is something what I always, when I was a kid, I was fantasized looking at the shopkeepers and the sales assistant. When I joined the digital world, I always keep on thinking, what if we can have something that act as a virtual salesperson? You are sitting on a desktop and you're actually monitoring live behavior, not looking at the web camera or not looking at the CCTVs, but looking at the actual tool who is giving you second by second information, what products they have put into the basket, what product they're looking, what product they took out the basket, why are they going on FAQs, if they're looking for help and advice, live data. And this is something which web trends have come up recently, the tool called Streams, where you can actually monitor second by second data of the user and actually go back and ask them, okay, do you need any help? We are here. I know live chat systems. So live chat system, you don't know the scene behind. Do you don't know the information behind the scene? Here you can actually watch and view what's happening on the other side of the pool. And last thing, the takeout, actions originated from web analytics are the real measures of web intelligence. I think web analysis is not something can be done in an easy way. Can be done, numbers, reports, dashboards, yes, blah, 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 can be done on a daily basis. But until and unless we as an analyst or I as an analyst go and do something on my own, I won't be able to figure out the problem. Lastly, the summary of 4 takeaways which I mentioned all across the presentation. And I would like to say thank you for coming here and listening to me. This is one of those quotes which I like because it says about the innovation, and I would be happy to answer any questions if you have. Thank you.
Any questions?
I believe there won't be many because I've not marketed any tool or anything like that. It's just basic what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. But anything related to web analytics, I'm here at the back. If you want to discuss anything, I'm happy to discuss with you guys. Do you have someone?
Hi, my name is Ash. I'm from Jaguar Land Rover. I remember you saying something about the eye tracking, and then the whole layout of the web page was changed after.
Can you be a bit louder?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Just a quick one on the web page makeover where you did some eye tracking and collected some data and then changed the layout of the website.
Yeah.
Because I was under impression always that, male always look at where the pretty ladies are. So how did you take that factor into consideration? Did you actually use the human factor?
Yes. We actually use a UX team based in Milton Keynes, and they did something for us. So what I figured out, 2 things: clicks going on and eye movements going on. Sometimes in some examples they're going hand in hand, by the time they were not. And that's how we figured out the page elements. Eyes go faster than the click, and eyes go towards the most attractive part of the web page. And if you can have our call to action on that attractive part, or we can make our call to action as attractive as it can attract the eye, we are done. And that's what we did. So we applied this as recently. We were helping on Marie Curie with their donations, all those things. And they come up and say, let's try. So we tried with them, and donations go, whoo. So, if you can use the information behind the tool, we can get into it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? You mentioned multi-channel and attribution, and there is actually to be technology that addresses that. Where you can actually look at social web-based search and phone analytics, attribute that and track it. And I think that's going to hugely impact the future. And there are a couple of things you should probably come to the two. You should probably have to take a look at.
Yep.
Cheers. Thank you. Any other questions? No? Thank you very much, Karan,
Thank you.
for inspiring talk.
Thank you.
So next up we have